Good afternoon and welcome to GCMX News, coming to you live from our studio in GCMX Africa, Kano, Nigeria. Today, Thursday, being the 15th January 2026, which is equivalent to 26 Rajab 1447 after Hijrah. I am Hamza Dauda Adamu with the news. First, the news headlines. Federal government halted issuance of guidelines for the implementation of new tax laws. Jigawa State Command NDLEA seized 1,944,389 kilograms of illicit drugs valued 2.8 billion naira in 2025. Federal government signed a $9 million lobbying agreement with the U.S. to promote Nigeria's effort in protecting Christian communities. U.S. has frozen all visa processing for 75 countries, including Nigeria. And now the news in details. Kano State Hospital Management Board has admitted that the death of Aishatu Umar, a mother of 5, was caused by medical negligence at the Abubakar Imam Urology Center in Kano. In a statement by the Public Relations Officer, Samira Suleiman said preliminary investigation was ordered by the Executive Secretary, Dr. Mansur Mudi Nagoda, confirmed that surgical scissors were left inside the patient's body after a procedure. However, the board announced the immediate suspension of 3 personnel directly involved in the case from the clinical duties and also referred the matter to the Kano State Medical Ethics Committee for the further investigation and disciplinary measure in line with the professional standard and the law. The federal government has signed a $9 million lobbying agreement with a United States firm to promote Nigeria's effort in protecting Christian communities and to strengthen American support for counter-terrorism operations. In a document filed in the U.S. shows that a Kaduna-based law firm, Asta Legal, engaged DCI Group on behalf of Nigeria's National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribadu. However, under the 6-month contract, DCI Group will help communicate Nigeria's action against terrorist groups and other security threats. The agreement runs until June 2026 and may be renewed for another 6 months. Also, in financial record revealed that Nigeria has already paid $4.5 million as an upfront retainer, with monthly fees standing at $750,000. The deal comes amid growing security cooperative between Nigeria and the United States following recent American airstrike in Sokoto State targeting suspected Islamic State-linked fighters. It has also come from diplomatic tension sparked when U.S. President Donald Trump described the situation of Christians in Nigeria as genocide, a claim strongly rejected by the Nigerian government. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA Jigawa State Command, says it seized 1,944,389 kilograms of illicit valued drugs at 2.8 billion in 2025. as part of intensified effort to curb drug abuse. The state commander, Hassan Kobaju, disclosed this on Tuesday while briefing journalists at the command's headquarters in Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. According to him, the seizure include 441.973 kilograms of cannabis sativa, 373.886 kilograms of psychotropic substances, and 128.520 kilograms of other drugs of abuse. Kobaju said the command also recorded major successes in prosecution, securing the conviction of 136 drug peddlers out of 577 suspects arrested during the year under review. However, the arrested suspects comprised 558 males and 19 females, which he noted that the achievement came amid a global push to combat the drug menace, adding that the NDLEA in Jigawa has intensified its operation to protect communities from the dangers of illicit drugs. Also, the commander reaffirmed the agency's commitment to sustaining the momentum in 2026 through stronger enforcement, public sensitization, and collaboration with relevant stakeholders. You are still watching to GCMX African News. Stay tuned as we come back shortly. Welcome back. 24 parishioners abducted from a branch of Ekwa Church at Ayetora Kiri in Kaba Bunu local government area of Kogi State. last month have regained freedom. Gunmen suspected to the bandit stormed the church on December 14, 2025 and kidnapped about 37 parishioners. The victims, including elderly women, men and teenagers, were abducted during the raid. Since the incident, the community leaders and the families of the victim have been engaging their abducted to secure their relatives. The federal government has halted the issuance of guidelines for the implementation of new tax law, citing uncertainty over the final version. Tayo Oyedele, Chairman President Tax Form Committee, has revealed. He said he has told the Nigerian Revenue Service (NRS) and the Joint Revenue Board (JRB) to wait because guidelines on the implementation of the tax law cannot be issued. Oyedele spoke in Lagos yesterday while responding to the questions after delivering keynote address on the 2026 Economic Outlook organized by the Institution of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, with the theme "ICANN at 60, Accountability as the Bedrock for National Development." However, he said concerns over whether the documents currently in circulation represent the final version of the laws prompted him to instruct his team to buy a printed copy of the law from the government's printer. He also said the feedback from the staff revealed that the National Assembly has taken custody of all printed copies of the tax law and directed that they should not be sold or made available to the public until lawmakers conclude their review. The United States of America has frozen all visa processing for 75 countries, including Nigeria, Somalia, Russia, Iran, Afghanistan, Brazil, Thailand, among nations affected by an indefinite pause starting January 21, 2026. According to a report by Fox News, the State Department is pausing immigrant visa processing for the 75 countries in an effort to crack down on applicant deemed likely to become a public charge. In a State Department memo seen by First News Digital, direct consular officer to review visas under existing law while the department reassesses with screening and vetting procedures. However, the countries including Somalia, Russia, Afghanistan, Brazil, Iran, Iraq, Egypt, and Nigeria, Thailand, Yemen, and more. The First News report also mentions Ghana as one of the affected countries. Also, it stated that the pause will begin by the January 21st and will continue indefinitely until the department conducts a reassessment of immigrant visa processing. To end the news, a recap of the major item. You have heard that the federal government halted issuance of guidelines for the implementation of new tax law. Also, you had the Jigawa State Command (NDLA) seize 1,944,389 kilograms of illicit drugs valued 2.8 billion naira in 2025. Also, you had that the federal government signed a $9 million lobbying agreement with U.S. to promote Nigeria's effort in protecting Christian communities. U.S. has frozen all visa processing for 75 countries, including Nigeria. This news comes to you live from our studio, GCMX Africa Kano. You can also follow us through our social media handles at GCMX Africa or through our streaming platform at GCMX On Streaming or GCMX Radio Garden. Once again, I'm Hamza Dauda saying goodbye for now.